आत्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये साङ्ख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन च परे अन्ये त्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चातितरन्त्येव मृत्युम् श्रुतिपरायणाः यावत् सञ्जायते किञ्चित् सत्त्वम् स्थावरजङ्गमम् क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञसंयोगात् तद्विद्धि भरतर्षभ समम् सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तम् परमेश्वरम् विनश्यत्स्व विनश्यन्तम् यः पश्यति स पश्यति समम् पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरम् न हि नस्त्यात्मनात्मानम् ततो याति पराम् गतिम् प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानमकर्तारम् स पश्यति यदा भूतपृथग्भावमेकस्थमनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारम् ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा अनादित्वान् निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते यथा सर्वगतम् सौक्ष्म्यादाकाशम् नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृत्स्नम् लोकमिमम् रविः क्षेत्रम् क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नम् प्रकाशयति भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवमन्तरम् ज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षम् च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम् ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायाम् योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञविभागयोगो नाम त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः गुणत्रयविभागः
Display this one. Let's see that if it is working. It's not. Where is it connected here? See there it's connected. you display the text? Text.
Onto this one?
Yeah.
I can see it, I think.
Okay, we'll start with our prayer. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Vavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्. May we be protected, may we be nourished. May we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifesting Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. Om, O Bhagavad Gita, with which Partha was enlightened by the Lord Narayana himself, and which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by ancient sage Vyasa, the Blessed Mother, the destroyer of rebirth, showering down the nectar of Advaita and consisting of 18 chapters. Upon thee, O Bhagavad Gita, O loving Mother, I meditate. So this chapter is very important, very important. Here Sri Krishna has discussed many important points which are essential for our spiritual life, and that also removes many of our confusions. So it is not harmful to go through the text. So in the beginning, Arjuna asked about few terms, few nomenclatures, and asked his Sri Krishna's explanation. What are these? Many times we hear Prakriti, 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 Purusha, and Kshetra, Kshetrajna. So all these are the question. This shloka, generally it is thought, or some people think, that this is prakshipta, that means interpolated, to make the topic understandable, what is the question and how Sri Krishna answered. So Arjuna asks, what are these things? Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetram, Kshetrajna. I want to know about this. And what is knowledge, jnanam, and what is to be known. So one thing is, like, let me read. Arjuna said, Prakriti and Purusha, also the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, knower of the Kshetra. Kshetra means field. knowledge and that which ought to be known. These, O Keshava, I desire to learn. So let me enumerate again 6 points. Prakriti, Purusha. Prakriti, Purusha. And then Kshetra and Kshetrajna. And third set is Jnanam and Gyam. What is knowledge? What is to be known? And what is Jnaya? What is to be known? Jnana means what are the means of knowledge. Generally, knowledge means whatever we know, that's knowledge. But here, the means by which one attains that knowledge. So these are the 3 sets of questions. Now, in the beginning, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna in a brief manner, this body is the field. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramitya vidhyate. Etat yo vetti. He who knows this. He who knows this body. And body mind complex here. Body means here not only physical body, but body means physical, mental, and intellectual. Whatever is this body mind complex, that is body. That's why it is said physical body, intellectual body. So like whatever is defined, what is limitation, that is body. Idam shariram kaunteya. So Blessed Lord said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called Kshetra. And he who knows it is called Kshetrajna. And then Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Now, he says, know for certain that I am the Kshetrajna, I am the knower of all bodies. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. Me do thou also know, O descendant of Bharata. As you are born in a clan and you know it similarly, I am the knower of all the kshetras. Me do thou also know, O descendant of Bharata, to be kshetrajna in all kshetras, in all fields. The knowledge of kshetra and kshetrajna is considered by me to be the knowledge. So, knowledge by which we know this body-mind complex, and also we know the knower of the self. So that is kshetrajna. Now that's the knowledge. Kshetra kshetra jnanam yattas jnanam matam mama. So what is knowledge? Knowledge is that by which we know this body and also this body-mind complex, and also knower of the self. But in higher understanding, so 2 things are there, aparavidya, paravidya. Aparavidya means the lower knowledge by which we know all subjects under the sun. Even Vedas also aparavidya. But yaya tat aksharam adhigamyate sapara, by which we know that supreme being, that is supreme knowledge. So when this whole gamut, see, aparavidya is not to denounce or not to look down upon, but it is to be to show that this is not that important in spiritual field. It may help to live in a better way. It may improve our living conditions. But this is short of that supreme knowledge. It cannot help in any way to know our real self. That is why this knowledge is called apara. Apara means not supreme. So whole knowledge system, whatever we have, but that by which we know the knower, that is paravidya. So Vidya is divided into two. Knowledge is divided into two, Paravidya and Aparavidya. So here God has taken both Kshetra and Kshetragya. So about this field means whatever objects are there, whatever knowledge we can acquire, and the knower of self, Kshetra and Kshetragya. The knowledge of both, the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetragya is considered by me to be the knowledge. It will be elaborated, so I am going quickly. Now he enumerates Tat Kshetra, Yachya, Yadrikcha. What is Kshetra? Whatever is observed, that what the Kshetra is, what its properties are, what its modifications are, what effects arise from what causes, and also who he is and what his powers are, that hear from me. To in brief. So now he is promoting this knowledge, that these are very important, so please be mindful. You listen from me. Why you listen from me? Because then all your confusions will go. And this is not the first time that it is discussed. This was discussed by various rishis, various seers. ऋषिभिर बहुधा गीतम छंदोभिर विबुधै पृथक ब्रह्मसूत्र पदेश्चैव हेतु मद्भिर विनिश्चितै. So many rishis have said this, and in various chanda, in Vedas, in Upanishads it is discussed. And not only that, logically also have discussed this in Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is the logical disposition of the gamut of knowledge that is enshrined in Vedas. So Brahma Sutra Padeshchaiva Hetu Midbhir Vinishchita, and it is discussed by me. This truth has been sung by rishis. Rishis means seers, mantra drashtaraha, those who have seen the mantra. Mantra is whatever mantra we receive at the time of initiation, it is not that mantra. Mantra means the riches, the hymns that we find in Vedas. Those are to be contemplated. Mananat trayate yasaha. When one meditates on them, by contemplation on them, one crosses over the miseries of this world. That is why it is called mantra. Here's a mantra. So mantra is like riches. So all the verses that we find, those are called mantras. It is not shlokas. So here, rishayaha mantra drashtara, those who discovered, like scientists discovered the physical rules or various rules of this nature. Similarly, rishis discovered or they realized and then they recorded some spiritual principles. Those are called mantras. Rishibhir Bahudagitam, and they have explained this in various ways. In Chandobhir Vividhai Prithak, in Chandas also, in various ways it is explained. So, this truth has been sung by rishis in many ways, in various distinctive chants, in passages indicative of Brahman. Brahma Sutra Padeschaiva. So Brahma Sutra, that is Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra, composed by Sri Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya. So in that Hetu Mat, full of reasoning, It's not that without reason. Say about 192 principles were discussed in 555 aphorisms, sutras. What are the sutras? Sutras are very brief sentences but with uh, pregnant of many ideas. So, like athato brahma jigyasa. So when one say ataha brahma jigyasa. So this it requires a lots of explanation. What is in the beginning, what one should acquire, the studentship, and after that then this question comes about Brahman. So 4 sutras are taken, and those 4 sutras are basic sutras. Janmadyasya jataha, like that. So on those Shankaracharya wrote his own commentary, and various acharyas wrote various commentaries, and then tikas, tippanis, sub commentary, and his commentary over the commentary, like this. They are endless. And if 4 sutras are understood properly, then you have grasped a sense of what is in Brahma Sutra. So anyway, Brahma Sutra padaschaiva hetu madbhir vinishchite. Hetu mat means with reasoning. And it is considered and it is explained there. And what is Brahma Sutra? That which indicates a Brahman. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. In say Mimamsa, they say Athato Dharma Jigyasa. So there one wants to do about righteousness. But here Brahma Jigyasa, no short of anything other than Brahman. So anyway, we go forward. Now comes Mahabhutani Ahamkaraha. So what are the kshetra? What is kshetra? What is this field? This we have discussed many times, so I'll go briefly here. Mahabhutani Ahamkar. Mahabhutani means Pancha Mahabhutas. As we know, we have 5 senses. There are various kinds of categorizing this creation. All our branches of knowledge have categories. Like if we see the living being, so then first we divide into 2. One is jiva, that whatever is living being, and the plant kingdom, animal kingdom. And then there are so many categories, so many genres, so many families. So this way, why we do this? Because then we generalize. A particular character is, say, mollusks, or reptiles, or aves, or species. So all these have particular character so that we can relate. If we take the whole animal kingdom, we cannot understand. That is why category is very important in any science. So we have Vaisheshik, we have Nyaya. So all they have some basic categories. So these are very, very helpful to understand the whole creation. Otherwise, we cannot take one by one. Now, Sankhya has taken in a particular way that we have 5 senses, and whatever we observe, our observance of this world is based on 5 sense organs. We see, we hear, we taste, touch, and smell. So, based on this, then they try to understand what are the objects? So when we touch something, that means something solid. When we see something, that means that it has form and also it has various textures. So similarly, they found 5 elements, Mahabhutani Ahankar. So Pancha Mahabhutas. And Pancha Mahabhutas, when it is grossified, then only we see. But before grossification, there is subtle Mahabhutas. So we have 5 categories. Kshiti means earth, earth means solid, up, whatever is liquid, like water, watery, up, Kshiti of Tej, whatever is like fire, energy, energy manifestation, and then whatever is gaseous, so that is that's called Vayu or air, and ether. Ether means whatever is, all these are contained in something, that is Akasha, space or ether. So on this 5 bhutas, and from this how we perceive, because there are 5 tanmatras are there. A subtle portion, say when we smell a rose, that means we grasp something very subtle, it comes to our nose, and then we smell. So that's called tanmatra. Panchamahabhutas, Panchatanmatra, 5 sense organs, and we have 5 organs of actions. Now all these are perceived by our mind. So mind is the 6th sense, it is said. But mind has 4 components, as we know. One is called chitta. That means it is reflected consciousness, chitta. And then when that sense comes, then comes ego, ahankar, and man and buddhi, intellect and mind. So these are here enumerated here: Mahabhutani, ahankara, buddhi, abhyaktam evacha. Abhyakta means unmanifested. That is the prakriti. Prakriti is also called abhyakta when it is not expressed or it cannot be said. The great elements, egoism, intellect, as also the unmanifested, that means Mula Prakriti. So Mula Prakriti, these are Vikriti called. Vikriti means evolution or evolutes of the Prakriti. So unmanifested. The 10 senses, like 5 sense organs and 5 organs of perception, action, and 1 mind, and the 5 objects of the senses. So now this is, by this he has enumerated the whole world. It is called 24 cosmic principles, and Purusha is the observer. 24 cosmic principle is observed world. Observed world. Now, what happens when we see something? It doesn't affect us. But when we relate this with us, then it gives either joy or sorrow. So suppose you are driving, you see so many things on the way, you are not affected. But if your attention is caught in something, you are entangled in that, then if it is desirable, then it will give you joy. If it is not desirable, and if you don't want, then, and it comes, then it will give you sorrow or misery. Now, is it only when what we desire, and when we get it, then we are happy? No, not like that. When, say, like something I like, and when it comes, then it gives joy. But when it departs, then it gives sorrow also. So same thing can give us joy and sorrow, even if it is desirable. And something which I don't want, it comes, that gives us misery. But when it departs, then it gives joy. So it is irrespective of the object. That is why Bhagavan has taken ichha, dvesh. Ichha means raga, attachment. And whatever is we are attached with, we like it. So we desire for this, desirous. Ichha, dvesha. Dvesha means aversion, what we don't like. So, in this Prakriti, everything is not tainted by us. When it is not tainted by us, it doesn't give us joy or sorrow. But as soon as we are desirous of something, we entangle ourselves with that object, then its proximity gives joy, or when it is departing, it gives us sorrow or misery. And what we don't like, when it comes closer, then we are miserable, and when we don't, it goes away, then we are happy. So it is not in the object, it is in our attitude. So this is very important. So when we think we call, say, padartha, well, something which is lying, an object. Object is object. But when it is, or I am entangled with it, then it's called Vishaya. Raga dvesha vijuktestu vishayanindriyascharan. We are to be in this world. And the best way to behave or to interact the objects of this world, even what we like or dislike, tayorana vashamagachet to hyasya paripantino. One should not be under its sway. Whatever I like, I should keep on, its proximity, that is not desired. Rather, one should be independent, without any attachment. So, raga dvesh vijuktestu vishayanindriyascharan atma vaishyer vidhyatma prasadam adhigacchati. So, in that way, when one interacts with this world, then he attains gladness of his mind. So here, in next shloka, Bhagavan says, Ichha, Desha, Sukham, Dukkham, Sanghata, Chetana, Dhriti, Etat Kshetram Samasena, Savikaram, Udaritam. First, let me read the meaning. The great elements I have already explained. Then egoism, intellect, and also the unmanifested, that Mula Prakriti. Prakriti evolutes, or evolutes of Prakriti is called all the objects. And also its original shape, it is there. Say, when first we are under delusion or illusion, or we can say under the Prakriti, then only we see objects. So, in its proper manifestation is there. Say, I am interacting with this world. So, I see things, I hear things, I touch, taste and smell. But all these are happening under Abhyakta or Prakriti. So, Prakriti is very much present. Not only it is exhausted, it is not exhausted, rather these are various manifestation of same Prakriti. So anyway, after that, the mind and the 5 objects of the senses, desire, hatred. Desire means whatever I like, whatever attachment I have, so I would like to have it, and hatred. Then pleasure, pain. Sukham, dukkham, pleasure and pain. So I explained whatever um, gives us pleasure, when it comes closer to us, then it gives joy. So this idea of pleasure and pain, liking, disliking, and that happens when the objects are converted into objects of desire or hatred. And sanghata means this body mind complex. This knowledge is for self evolution. That is why we need to stress this over and over again. Why we are miserable, why we are worried, why we are under stress. It is because of not understanding this. So it may look like repetitive, but it is very important for clarification. So sanghata here means body mind complex. Body mind complex. Whatever existence that we experience, it's because of our body, mind, and uh, uh, the other elements that goes with it. So sanghata. And chetana. What is chetana? Chetana here means borrowed consciousness. So here the sanghata is in the aggregate, the intelligence, fortitude, the kshetra. The kshetra has been thus briefly described. Little one more sentence. It is said, Vishaya. What is Vishaya? Pravritti nivritti hetu bhuta. When something is pleasurable, then we are towards it. That's pravritti. But when it is not pleasurable, then we are averse to it. That means we don't want it. Nivritti. So pravritti and nivritti hetu bhuta. That which causes to go towards it. Something is pleasurable, then we want more and more. And when it is miserable, then we want to be shun that. So this is pravritti, when we want to go towards it. And nivritti means we don't want to go near it, we want to renounce it. So pravritti nivritti hetu bhuta. So whatever the cause of pravritti and nivritti, it is because of vishaya. Vishaya means objects. So hetu bhuta, that's called eta kshetra. Sanghata. Sanghata means this interaction. We want to do something and then we want to go for that, and we don't want to experience something, then we don't want. So this sanghata means all the time this confusion or this struggle is going on. And all these are realized in chetana. Chetana means when consciousness reflected in the objects or in our kshetra, in our field. It's like a heat is transferred into a iron ball. What happens? It becomes red hot. So in nature it is not there. It is influenced by heat. It is influenced by heat. So when chetana, consciousness, is experienced through objects, so that is the meaning here, chetana. So Bhagavan Bhashyakar, Sri Shankaracharya, he explains this. Tasmat abhivyakta ayah karana vritti tapte iva loh pinde agni. It's like fire in a object, in an object which is iron. So, in iron, when we see heat is induced, then it becomes hot. So, it has no intrinsic quality of its own, but it is imposed or it is transferred into that object. So, that is. So, similarly, Atma Chaitanya Bhasaha Avidha Chetana. So, Chetana here, consciousness means not pure consciousness, but awareness that comes through our senses and sense objects. Sa cha kshetram jneyatvat, because it is jneya, because we can experience this. So, etat kshetram samasena savikaram udaritam. Let me read the meaning again so that it is clear. So, Bhagavan says, Mahabhutani, so all 5 elements, egoism, intellect, as also the unmanifested Mula Prakriti, the 10 senses and one mind, and the 5 objects of senses, desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, the aggregate, that means this sanghata, and intelligence, fortitude, dhriti. There is a very important. What happens, say suppose something miserable, we want to hold it, we want to keep it longer. So that is dhriti. Dhriti means we want to hold. And what happens, even somebody insulted us for say maybe 10 years ago, but we remember that and we are miserable by that. So sanghatas chetana dhriti. Etat kshetram samasena. This is the kshetra. Kshetra means this is the field, in short. So these are a few examples are given, but it may have more. But it is, in brief, it is like this. Okay, so we go forward. Now comes jnanam. What is jnanam? So by this Bhagavan has enumerated what is kshetra and that he is the kshetragya in all fields. Now what is jnana? Now prakriti and purusham, according to Arjuna, it looks like it is two different. Purusham and jneyam. Purusham, jneyam. But actually these are not two different things. Whatever is Gya, that is Purusha. Only Purusha is to be known. So, Jnanam here again, let me explain that Jnanam here means Jnana Prapti Lakshana. What, by the means by which we attain knowledge. Why? Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. And I have explained already that Aparavidya and Paravidya. So here Jnanam means by that we know what is to be known. Jnana sadhanani. Jnana sadhanani here is Jnanam. The knowledge by which the practices or righteousness or virtues to acquire knowledge. In short, these are the virtues. If we practice this, then we can attain knowledge. That is why it is knowledge. So, amanitvam. So first is humility, amanitvam. And Sri Ramakrishna said, water can be collected where there is depression. But if it is, water will not be collected on the hills. So amanitya means here a person when one is humble, he gains knowledge. Amanitam, adambhitvam, unpretentiousness or simplicity. No boasting. One should not boast, oh, I have done this or I can do this. I am the best in the world. Nobody understands like me. So, amanittam adambhitvam. So, simplicity, humility, simplicity, these are the virtues that one should inculcate to gain knowledge. Then kshanti. Kshanti means when there is a problem, somebody does something wrong to us, but we forgive and we forbear. So this quality, this virtue is called kshanti. Arjavam. Arjavam means simplicity. Rijuta. Arjavam means rijuta means straightforwardness but simplicity. So humility, unpretentiousness, non-injury, and ahimsa. Ahimsa is very elaborately discussed. Ahimsa means sometimes either we do or we make someone to do on our behalf. So krita, karita, or anumodita, or we say, oh, very good, you have done very well. If somebody does something wrong or punishes someone, say, okay, very good. And people also like it. When somebody says somebody is ill, then they want that support. But we should not even support that. And we should be, neutral there. So anyway, ahimsa. Ahimsa means any kind of hatred, any kind of harm that we would like to do or inflict somebody on somebody else. So that should not be done. That is why the shama, dama, titiksha, ityadi, it is enumerated there. Even in Yoga Sutra it is also said that yama, in that we have 5 virtues. Ahimsa, satya, akrodha, and then achaurya, that means ahimsa, satya, akrodha, achaurya, and also not to accept any gifts from anyone. So these are universal, and neither we should do ourselves nor make others to do, or we should not support that somebody is doing, because that also taints our mind. So this is ahimsa. Kshanti. Kshanti means forgiveness and forbearance. Non-injury, forbearance. Then acharyopasanam. And one more thing, uprightness or simplicity or straightforwardness. Acharyopasanam. Service to the teacher. Because we serve, when we serve our teacher, then we gain knowledge. Because they are happy with us, so they impart knowledge. If you do something for someone, naturally he feels that one should do. And it's the instruction of scripture is also there. Upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. When a student approaches, then it is the duty of teacher to teach him or her. So that there is the instruction given by scripture that one should impart knowledge to such a disciple. So acharya upasanam, shaucham, cleanliness, sthiryam means shaucham, cleanliness is very important. Or not only physical cleanliness but mental cleanliness. Also, vachik, kaik, vachik, and manasik. Kaik means through body one should be clean, body should be clean by taking bath, etc. And also he should be mentally akin to that service. And not only that, his speech also should be clean. That means, say, like sometimes people are making garland, but they are talking politics. Last time I saw that. But anyway, that also should be shunned. But if if you say somebody they may not like it. So yeah, gradually we have to understand this, that when we are serving God, even we should not talk or talk minimum. That's very important. So shaucham, stairyam, and then steadiness. It's not that sometimes we do, sometimes you do extra something. Like one day I do japa, say 10 hours, and second day we don't do. Not that. A constant practice, whatever is there, that regulated practices should be there. So steadiness and atma vinigraha, self-control. Self-control is very important. आत्मनः अपकारस्य आत्मशब्दवाच्यस्य कार्यकारणसंघातस्य विनिग्रह. That means, what is this atma vinigraha? Whatever is against good of us, and whatever is against this body mind complex, and whatever objects are there. So if it is distracting from our goal of life, then we have to shun that. The main thing to achieve the goal of life. So whatever is obstructing that goal or to achieve that goal, that is to be shunned. So atma vinigraha. And whatever is helpful, we are to follow that helpful attitude to reach our goal. So that is atma vinigraha. And how to do this? It is in Yoga Sutra it is said, vitarka vadhane pratipaksha bhavanam. All other opposing thoughts will come. Then we are to oppose those thoughts by positive thinking. Say somebody has done something wrong. Naturally, we have a tendency to take revenge. But one has to increase the compassion for that person or to forgive that person. So opposing thoughts are to be brought to counter the harmful thoughts or whatever is not desirous. So pratipaksha bhavanam, vitarka vadhane pratipaksha bhavanam. So if somebody is not helpful, rather one is to avoid. So 4 situations are there. Maitri karuna muditopekshanam sukha dukkha punya punya bhavanata chitta prasadanam. So Maitri, if someone is good or doing good, then we should have the feeling of friendliness. And someone who is not doing good, we must have karuna, compassion for such a person, that he's not he's not following, or he's averse to reach the goal of life, or he's not helpful, so I must have karuna. And again, if someone is doing some meritorious work, we should have mudita. Mudita means gladness. Yes, very good, very nice. But if something is being done which is not only not helpful, but it is harmful, so in that case it is better to avoid that. So Maitri Karuna Muditopekshanam Sukha Dukha Punya Punya Bhavanatah Chitta Prasadanam. So these are the ways how to control oneself. Atma Vinigraha. Controlling oneself and not to dissipate our energy and to channelize our energy to particular direction. Now comes that what? 8 minutes. Yeah, 8. Now I'm seeing the time. Okay. Now I'll enumerate in short so that we can go in details later. Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankar evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. These are sadhanani. These are the means. If we practice, then we can achieve knowledge. So what are those? Indriyartheshu vairagyam. The sense objects one should have, towards sense object one should have renunciation. Renunciation means whatever is required, that much one can gain, but not as greedy. So the renunciation of sense objects and also absence of egotism. And a person who is full of renunciation, even he withdraws from senses totally. For ordinary people like us, whatever is required, that one can gain, but not more than that. So renunciation of sense objects and also absence of egotism. Anahankara evacha. Because our ego spoils everything. When we mix our ego with anything, then either we like it or dislike it. And those liking and disliking will give us both joy and sorrow. A little of joy and more misery. Therefore, indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. And one should see faults in this taking birth and death and this old age, disease. One should constantly see that these are the things that one should not like. Renunciation of sense objects and also absence of egotism or egoism. Reflection on the evils of birth, death, old age, sickness and pain. Because when we are disgusted for these, then only we would not like this, rather we can attain knowledge. Now we go to the next. Asakti anabhisangha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu. That means non-attachment, non-identification of self with son, wife, home and the rest, and constant even-mindedness in the occurrences of the desirable and the undesirable. So these are, it is dangerous to talk about this, but we have to we have to talk. It is not that one should hate. Whatever ordained duty is stipulated, that one should perform. But there must be identification of the goal of life. That my goal of life is to attain self-knowledge or attain God, realization of God. After that, if that is there, then one can see same God in all being. Then it is not that infatuation, rather one performs one's duty with this idea that I am serving him because I am serving God. So this way we can deify our actions. And after worship, after that kind of worship, then we offer the whole thing to God. So this is asakti anabhisanga. So whatever is being said here, it is not for hating, rather not to get attached. Putra dar grihadeshu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu. Nityam means always. Nityam. Samachittatvam means even-mindedness. All the time one should have the even-mindedness. To even-minded means towards what? Objects of the world. It may be desirable or it may not be desirable. Like politics here. Many people are unhappy because of the development. But but one should have equanimous mind. It's okay. It's in the nature, it's coming like this. And it will go in course of time. Nothing is going to stay here. Nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu. So this is now let me read it again. Non-attachment, non-identification of self with son, wife, home, and the rest. Everything belongs to God. What belongs to us? Money or property. And Sri Ramakrishna said, God loves two times. When two brothers fight and say, this part is mine and that part is yours. God knows that everything belongs to me. These fools are fighting without any reason. And second time, when God says, mother, don't worry, I'll cure your son. Doctor. Yeah, doctors. To doctor, a doctor says, yes. Say God loves and says, I have already killed him and he's going to save this one. So, these are not under us. It belongs to God. Therefore, we should keep same distance or equanimous attitude. So, wife, home, and rest, and constant even-mindedness in the occurrence of the desirable and the undesirable. So even we can keep this and see what is the result. We can experience this. Mind will be in such a state that misery will not be able to touch us. And in course of time, even the trace of misery also will go away. Now, two more slokas are there, just I'll read it and then we'll go to the next. Mai cha ananya yogena bhakti abhyavicharini. Unswerving devotion to me by the yoga of non-separation. So all the time one should be attached with God or one's own self with devotion. Vivikta desha sevitvam aratir janasamsadi. And resort to sequestered places, distaste for the society of men. So that means not to be entangled. In simple word, it is that. We cannot jump out of the society. The boat should be in the water. Only water should not be in the boat. That's the idea. Vivikta desha sevitvar aratir janasamsadi. Like as time comes when one does not like even company of anyone. That's a separate issue. When that will come, one can go that way. But as of now, we are to be in the world, in the society, and we are to be detached at the same time. Now comes the final, very important. Adhyatma jnana nitatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam. Etas jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yatata anyatha. This is a very, very important one. Constant application to spiritual knowledge and understanding of the end of true knowledge. This is declared to be knowledge, and what is opposed to it is ignorance. Sri Ramakrishna in short, if you know one, akke janannam gyan, all other things are jnana. So knowing one is knowledge. And other than that is all ignorance. So we'll dwell on this point. It's very important. Adhyatma jnana nitatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam. All the time we should analyze what is the goal of life, what is the intrinsic divinity that is there. Adhyatma jnana nitatvam, and it should be contemplated all the time. And what is the goal of tattva jnana? So this will go in the next class. And this is knowledge or means of knowledge. The righteous habits or qualities, if practiced, then it will lead us, it will gain, through these we can gain that which is called knowledge. So we will stop here. We'll see our prayer. Yes.
Going back to your analogy about the iron ball, and if you cause the iron ball to be red and hot, if the heat source is immediate and the body-mind complex...
Maharaj, can you tell about Premananda Maharaj, please?
No, Premananda next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the correct analogy, that the body-mind complexes only seem to have see red and have heat because of the Dusha?
Yes. So like this, moon has no light of its own. It shines with borrowed light. Similarly, this body-mind complex has no awareness of its own. But when that shines, that means Brahman shines, or self shines, with that shine, this animates. So here also we have, say, we interact with this awareness that I am there. This awareness is because of our borrowed shine from the self. So example is given, hot iron. The heat is not intrinsic in it, but it is borrowed from a source. Similarly, Chetana, consciousness, here what it means is, Chetana, awareness, is not the untainted, pure Chetana, consciousness, pure consciousness, but borrowed consciousness. Borrowed consciousness, because of that, all the functions are going on. So this is, this confuses us what we really are. It gives a notion that I am that self. But this is not pure self, it's only borrowed awareness, borrowed consciousness. So like this light, you can see me, but when it is shining and when it is reflected, then only you can see. But we forget about it. We forget about the source. What we remember, we say, oh, I can see you. Here also the light is there, but we cannot see. As soon as we bring an object, then only it reflects. So this Chetana that we are dealing the whole world with, This Chetana, this awareness is not intrinsic here of the objects or the body or mind complex. It is the reflected awareness of the self. It is the reflected awareness of the self by which we are dealing. That is why this confusion happens. Sometimes we think we are the self. But this self is not real self. It is only borrowed self, borrowed light of the self. So we see our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Harihi Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
There's a little girl playing in the garden. She thinks that she's alone and no one will see. But the beauty of it all, as the daisy petals fall, is the wish she's made that's whispered in the breeze. There's a wish in the breeze. Now won't you take a chance and let your tears start falling? Ignore the fearful warnings of your mind. Let your heart for once do all the talking, and believe that you deserve for the sun to shine. Believe that you deserve for the sun to shine. There's an old woman sitting in the doorway. She greets the people, each one as they pass. Sometimes they have her round them for her wisdom. Sometimes that she'll remind them how to laugh. They know that she'll remind them how to laugh. So won't you take a chance and let your tears start falling? Ignore the fearful warnings of your mind. Let your heart for once do all the talking, and believe that you deserve for the sun to shine. Believe that you deserve for the sun to shine. Now on a hill there stands a cross upon a graveyard, and the simple word carved in it says, forgive. No war or killing or anger can match the force it carries. It can heal the generations so that other ones can live. It can heal us so we can live. Now there's a moment between forward and retreating, when you're just not sure which way you ought to choose. Then the sun shines brightly on the golden meadow, and suddenly you're not at all confused. Suddenly you're not confused. That's when you take a chance and let your tears start falling, and you ignore the fearful warnings of your mind. You let your heart for once do all the talking, and believe that you deserve for the sun to shine. Believe that you deserve for the sun to shine. You always did deserve for the sun to shine. I love you and I want the sun to shine.